Today I fucked up by forgetting a shift and going to work on mushrooms. I used to be a security guard for one of the largest security companies out there. At the time I was working a public library contract at the main downtown branch. Every now and again there would be special events at the smaller libraries around town that require guard services. One week my boss asks me if I would be interested to work one of the weekend shifts coming up at one of the branches hosting an art gallery. It paid well, and I really just had to stand there. Fuck a day off, daddy needs them dollars. Well, I neglected to write any reminders down on the tiny computer I carry around daily and made some plans of my own for the weekend in question. That Friday I had picked up about 7 grams of mushrooms off my grandpa who grew his own, but instead of just eating them like I normally would have done, I wanted to make them into a tea just to see how the effects differ from ingesting the raw mushroom. Early Saturday morning rolled around, and I unwillingly slinked out of my bed. Mushrooms are pretty much an all-day type of thing, so I like to get the party started before noon. Sit down to engage my daily biological waste expulsion protocols while skimming the mushroom tea instructions briefly. 1. Grind mushrooms. 2. Boil in water. 3. Add tea bag and sugar/honey for sweetness. 4. Strain out mushroom refuse. 5. Go to space. Simple enough. I use a coffee grinder to grind up 4 grams of the mush into the finest powder possible and dumped it in a small stainless steel pot with the exact amount of water needed for 1 cup of tea. Next I plopped in 2 bags of Tetley's Earl Grey vanilla to take me all the way to Flavortown because magic mushrooms aren't known for their over-the-top delicious potential. Known more for its earthy, kind of like literal shit taste except only drier. PSA, use pizza or peanut butter same for ingesting large quantities of dry mush, makes the experience less. Vomit on his sweater already. Apples help me to curb that initial nausea. I prep my cup with some cheesecloth and slowly pour the mushroom concoction through the cloth to collect the organic matter floating in the water. It literally smells like my vanilla tea. Added some honey and began to drink it. Holy fucking shit, tastes just like my tea. There is almost no discernible taste difference. At this point it was about 10 AM. The nice thing about regular mushrooms tasting like shit is the taste lingers, especially when you burp. So it is not easy to forget what choices you have just made. The tea was just tea. Until it most totally was not. When you eat mushrooms, they can take upwards on an hour to begin to kick in. Gives you time to situate yourself in a comfortable area, with comfy clothes and get set up with an activity you can enjoy. This was my first time fucking with the tea, so other than other trip reports I have read, I did not know what to anticipate, so I anticipated nothing and just embraced the trip as it unfolded. This is the way to avoid a bad trip. Lean into it. Never fight against it. Literally 20 minutes later my Visson goes webby, door frames and windows are no longer symmetrical, and colors are just wow. The come up that usually takes 1 to 2 hours to climb crescendoed for me at an unheard of rate of speed. It was as though I was completely normal one moment, then a couple of deep breaths and deliberate blinks later the world around me took a new shape. It happened so fast I was shocked, and the shock threw me into a laughing fit which woke up my then roommate, Rod the body. Rod comes out and sees my writhing on the floor, crying laughing. He looks at the time on his phone and shakes his head. Apparently, I found this to be the funniest shit I have ever seen. Non-stop laughter until I laughed so hard I almost shit myself. Bathroom time. Hallucinogenics tend to make biological process very unpleasant experiences, as you are very aware of sensations you would normally want to numb for the sake of sanity. So I was not stoked about what I had to do. I'll spare you fine folks the shitty details, but the mushroom tea turned my stomach upside down and I pissed out of my ass for like 10 minutes. That was a completely new mushroom experience for me. Not one I ever want to relive. Yikes. Finishing the porcelain crucible, I returned to my comfy spot on the couch a changed man. I half-heartedly watched some TV, probably Family Guy, as it is quality background noise, just following my fluid mind down the river of hallucinations. My phone rings, it's my boss lady. Boss lady, hey Milk, are you about ready to be picked up for that gallery at 5? I look at my phone, it's fucking 4? My perception of time was so skewed, it felt as though I had just left the washroom moments ago. Maybe I did. Shit me, yes. ready. Boss lady, you forgot about the shift tonight, didn't you? Me, I 100% did. Boss lady, well, we really do need your help tonight if you can still make it. Feeling bad about my terribly timed decisions while also feeling gratitude for the entire universe, I agreed to still work the shift and have her pick me up. I hang up the phone and immediately go to the bathroom to see how big my pupils are. Fucking massive. Excellent. One of the only upsides to mushroom tea is that the effects do not seem to last as long as ingesting the actual mushroom itself. 4 to 5 hours versus 8 to 10 hours depending on potency and quantity. So I was on the way down but still up. Still way up. It's worth mentioning at this point that a week prior I was in a physical altercation that left me with one black eye. 5 PM rolls around and boss lady texts me that she is here. I find my darkest, most reflective sunglasses, pray to the mushroom gods for guidance and venture out into the world for the first time that day. She knows about my black eye and almost immediately as I sit in her car she asks to see it. Fuck. Internally panicking, while externally pretending to be a cucumber, I remove the glasses and she inspects my eyebrows. Boss lady, geez, they got you a good one, eh? And that was it, that's all she said. Shades back on, headed to work. We arrive at the library to find a long line of geriatrics waiting to gain entry. This was an old-aged art show showcasing local elderly artists' work. I walk in and look around. Ooh, snacks. They have some wafer cookies and a pot of coffee on a central table in the middle of the room while the perimeter of the room is housing all of the paintings. It is a small room and the only reason security is there at all is to ensure no one comes in to use the library as the regular library area is closed for the show. But that all looks so what they expected of us. I'm milling around eating cookies, drinking subpar coffee with probably way too much sugar in it, just observing the art. Surprisingly not feeling anxious at all. The art was very soothing for some reason. None of them were over the top good in terms of fine art. I mean way better than anything I could create, but not like magical masterpieces. Lots of farm landscapes which I thought was strange. You can paint anything in your imagination and you paint a red barn and a field full of rolled up hay bales. But the more I looked and the more I questioned, the more I understood the why. This art was not for me. It wasn't for anyone other than the individual who created it from their unique ethos. This wasn't just a piece of art, it is a piece of their humanity, who they are as an individual among a sea of individuals. I grabbed a few more cookies. When I went to the cookie table I was greeted by a nice older woman whose actual name escapes me, but I wouldn't tell you degenerates anyway. I saw you looking at the art, what do you think? Unable to capture and articulately express the sensations I felt experiencing the art firsthand, I replied with a meek, yeah, it's good. That one you were looking at in the corner is mine. I felt a sense of her wanting to connect with someone regarding her art. She exuded confidence, but somehow I still sensed a bit of exhausted loneliness in her. Really? It is pretty cool. What inspired you to create that piece? She goes on to tell me how that was the farm her husband had grown up on, the farm where they had met. She said that ever since he died 5 years ago she felt lost, disconnected. She said she recently started having dreams of her late husband and the farm where they met, and it would make her depressed. Then I don't know what happened, she said, I just woke up one day and knew I had to paint the farm, so I did. Cannot explain it, but as soon as I was finished with the painting I felt lighter, like my husband was still with me. Somewhere. I could tell she was getting a little anxious divulging potentially sensitive personal information to a complete stranger. It is a very bold day I fucked up a work of art and I'm sure your husband would be impressed by what you have created. She smiled and we parted ways. Damn. Here I was, initially harshly judging this seemingly bleak piece of artwork that was actually a piece of someone's soul. I learned a lot about myself that day, about snap judgments and multiple perspectives. I hope that lady is happy doing whatever she's doing. We finish the day and get into the boss's car. She looks at me. Car still in park. Boss lady, how high were you today? Me. Silence / boss lady, I'm not a fucking idiot. Me. I just smoked a bit of weed, I forgot about the shift. My apologies. She looked pretty pissed but was glad no one else noticed my suspected inebriation. I got written up but she was a nice boss so it never made it to head office. thankfully. Edit, thank you everyone who took the time to read this behemoth of a today I fucked up. Appreciate all of your words. I recently lost my good cushy job and am back on that security grind. In fact, that's where I wrote this. Maybe I'll take your words and use them as motivation to write something. Thanks again. Edit 2, I get it, I fucked up twice that day. I should have used lemon juice. Lol 3. Too long didn't read, drank mushroom tea, then was reminded about a shift I picked up, attended shift, had perspective altering experience, was almost fired but just got written up. Totally worth it. I wish my grandpa was growing mushrooms. Oh, he probably is. Fun quality joke. Boss lady, how high were you today? Me, silence. Boss lady, I'm not a fucking idiot. LOL. I love that she didn't mention it until after the shift. You went to work on 4 grams? Question mark. You must be an absolute unit. Wow, this should have more upvotes. I haven't taken mushrooms in a few years now, but last time I did was before a high school trip with a bunch of kids to a camp. Lol. I know, what kind of kid goes to a camp on mushrooms? That's its own story. Anyways, I found myself packing my bags crying, not sure what it meant. But ever since then I don't like leaving town, ha ha ha. Mouse sounds like mushrooms. This seems like a win to me. Also, I would love to talk about altered perceptions of reality and realization of other people's creativity as a microcosm of their self. You articulated that really well and it was lovely. Today I fucked up by having a cat who only drinks from a faucet. I have 2 cats. One is the perfect little angel baby. The other is a fluffy, needy, abusive jerk face who is the weirdest, quirkiest, most demanding cat I've ever owned. He has me well trained to attend to his every need. One of his quirks is that he basically won't drink water from a bowl. He also won't drink from any number of fancy cat fountains we have tried. He only likes the tiniest drips and trickles of water flowing freely from a tub faucet. Now, I've had this cat for 10 years, so I love him, but this is a today I fucked up a decade in the making. He loves drinking water. He constantly will walk into the living room and sit down with his cute dumb little face covered in water after drinking from the thin trickle in the tub. I'm living in Houston, a city I really love, but which is in the state of Texas where we can't get our collective deregulated stuff together. We've had electric outages for days and now we are under a boil water notice. My special little butthole kept going into the bathroom and knocking things down because he was trying to get me to go in there and turn the water on. He doesn't understand that the water might kill him right now. He only knows that he's thirsty. And when this cat wants something, he gets it. There's no point in deterring him. Any normal deterrents that work on other cats, covering surfaces in tin foil, bitter sprays, spray bottle, tape, do not deter him. Ignoring him doesn't work because he will escalate to knocking over bigger and bigger objects until you come see him. Then he purrs and winds around your legs like the little spoiled prince that he is. So, the Dark Lord was thirsty and I couldn't put his water on, and he kept knocking down my lotion. I finally took a water bottle over the tub and poured a trickle out for him to drink. Then I moved one of the big spout spring water containers to the tub, opened the spout to a trickle, and then sat by my dumb fluffy asshole until he was done drinking because I have no idea when we will get water back. Too long didn't read. Today I fucked up by having the pickiest fluffy spoiled cat prince who is adding to the stress of our broken utilities situation in Texas by making me figure out how to water him properly. I really appreciate all the stories of equally picky cats, as well as the faucet-style fountains. They live such charmed lives. Mine has tried multiple cat fountains and rejected all of them, I think because he doesn't like the noise. So I hope to find his holy grail fountain one day. He does have clean, cold water bowls refreshed daily far away from his food. His sister drinks from it. He won't. Partially him being stubborn and partially because I am a pushover. Ha. Dark Lord Cat Tax. Today I fucked up by leaving Shackles attached to the coffee table, NSFW. Throw away. Oh my fuck, I need to tell someone about this and I can't tell many people, but holy ass I fucked up lamau. This just happened. So, my boyfriend and I enjoy certain things. One of those things lead to me attaching some Shackles to the coffee table, and I decided to leave them there because it was convenient when I wanted to randomly use them. It's been maybe a month, and, even though we get regular use out of them, their placement was normalized and didn't seem out of place after the first week or so. I've noticed them a few times in the background of pictures and remembered to crop them out before sharing with anyone. So anyway, boyfriend's mom texted this morning to ask if we could take care of dogs. Always a hard yes to that. Her initial message came while I was working out and boyfriend was just waking up. She asked if we could meet her, and that's where we were when I got in the shower. I came out and got ready and he said she was just coming here. So I was like, oh cool. Cleaned the toilet really quick because she always has to pee right after arriving, and then she was here. She sits down on the sofa and she says, so I don't want to ask what's up with the handcuffs on the table, but what's up with the handcuffs on the table? With a dead expression I just said, don't worry about it. Awkward silence. Also, they aren't handcuffs, they're shackles. I don't know why I fucking said that last part. Either way, boyfriend looked at me and sort of silently slow clapped and said, good job, and I took them off the table and put them away while she used the bathroom. Too long, didn't read, left Shackles attached to the coffee table for sake of convenience and no one comes over because pandemic. Got used to them being there. Dogs need cared for. Mother-in-law brought dogs. Mother-in-law was not used to them being there. I am shame. Edit, this is the table.